The first naked man I saw after my husband died was bleeding into my best copper tub. I found him after midnight. The lamps in the front room had been turned low. The last customer had gone nearly an hour before, smelling of lavender soap and carrying enough gossip to occupy the whole of Sunday service. I had scrubbed the floors, banked the furnace, and counted the day's receipts twice. The Willow Spring bathhouse was closed. Respectable women slept in their own beds at that hour. Respectable widows did not follow a trail of blood through a locked building. I took the revolver from beneath the front counter and followed it anyway. The drops began beside the rear door. They crossed the tiled floor, dark and bright beneath the gaslight, then disappeared beneath the curtain of the private bathing room. Steam drifted through the narrow opening. Someone had turned the hot water valve. I raised the revolver. If you intend to rob me, you should know the cash box contains $11.30, and I am prepared to kill you over every penny. A man's voice came from behind the curtain.
That seems excessive.
It was low, roughened by pain, and far too calm for a burglar caught bleeding. I pulled the curtain aside. He sat in the copper tub with his back against the curved rim, one arm stretched along the edge, and the other pressed hard to his side. His shirt lay in a bloody heap on the floor. His gun rested within reach. He was not entirely naked. His trousers remained on, dark beneath the water. That did not make the sight of him respectable. Steam curled around his shoulders. Wet hair had fallen over his forehead. Blood ran from a wound beneath his ribs, thinning pink as it met the water. He looked at my revolver, then at me.
You should not point that unless you mean it.
You should not enter a women's bathhouse unless invited.
I knocked.
At midnight?
No one answered.
That is generally what happens when a business is closed. His mouth shifted at one corner. The almost smile made him look younger and considerably more dangerous. I tightened my grip. Take your hand away from the gun.
I am holding the wound closed.
The other hand. He looked down at the revolver beside the tub. Slowly, he placed both hands where I could see them. The movement opened the wound. Fresh blood slipped between his fingers. His face went pale beneath the sun-darkened skin. You have been shot.
So it appears.
You say that as though it came as a surprise.
It was disappointing.
I should have called Sheriff Bill. His office stood less than 200 yards away. A respectable woman would have backed out of the room, locked the door, and shouted until half the town arrived. Instead, I looked at the man in my tub. There was a scar through his right eyebrow. Another crossed the hard line of one shoulder. His hands were rough and marked across the knuckles. He had the lean, powerful build of a man who had spent more nights under open sky than beneath a roof. I had seen his face before. Not in person, on a notice beside the post office. Jonah Creed, wanted for murder and armed robbery, $500 reward. The drawing had failed to capture the gray of his eyes. It had also neglected to mention his shoulders.
You know who I am.
It was not a question. I know what the poster says.
Posters say what the man paying the printer wants them to say.
Did the man paying the printer also shoot you?
His employees did.
I kept the gun aimed at him. Why are they chasing you?
Because I have something they want.
What? He looked at me for a long moment.
Not something you want to know about.
You are bleeding into a tub imported from St. Louis. I have passed the point of avoiding involvement. His gaze moved around the room. White tile, polished copper, shelves of folded linen, bottles of rosewater and witch hazel, a painted sign reminding customers that gentlemen were not admitted beyond the front desk. Then he looked back at me.
You run this place alone?
Most days.
Then call the sheriff.
You want me?
No.
Why suggest it?
Because it is the sensible thing.
I have never cared for strange men telling me what is sensible. His eyes moved over my face.
No. I do not expect you have.
Outside, hoofbeats passed along the street. Jonah's attention snapped toward the shuttered window. His body went still. Not frightened. Ready. I had never seen a wounded man become dangerous so quickly. The hoofbeats slowed. Voices carried through the night.
Check the alley.
Jonah reached for his revolver. I aimed mine at his chest. Do not.
If they come through that door,
They will find an empty bathhouse.
they will find you.
Not if you stop bleeding on everything. The voices moved closer. I lowered the revolver. Can you stand?
Yes.
Was that the truth?
No.
I set my weapon on the shelf and crossed the room. Jonah watched me approach. The steam had dampened his hair and left a faint sheen over his skin. Water moved across the broad plane of his chest with every careful breath. I refused to notice. I noticed anyway. Put your arm around my shoulders. His eyebrows lifted.
I am wet.
I own towels.
I am also wanted for murder.
I own a revolver. That almost smile returned. He lifted his arm. When it settled around me, the weight of him bent me slightly. His skin was hot. Too hot. I slid one arm behind his back and the other around his waist, avoiding the wound. The moment my hand touched his bare side, his abdomen tightened. His breath caught close to my ear. Did I hurt you?
Yes,
I did not touch the wound.
I know.
The answer sent an unwelcome warmth through me. I forced my attention to the door at the rear of the bathing room. Behind it was a narrow service passage used for laundry and firewood. At the end stood a linen closet, deep enough for a man to hide if he did not object to smelling of lavender. Jonah rose from the tub. Water poured from him. For one alarming second, the weight of his body came fully against mine. His chest pressed to my shoulder. His mouth passed near my temple. His wet trousers clung in a manner no respectable widow should have examined. I examined the floor with great determination. Walk.
I am trying.
You are leaning.
I have been shot.
You mentioned that. A fist struck the rear door.
Mrs. Hart,
Jonah's arm tightened around me. The hard length of his body went rigid. Do not draw.
Mrs. Hart, you awake?
I half carried Jonah into the linen closet. He caught the door frame with one hand and barely kept himself upright. There was no room for distance. Shelves pressed against my back. His body stood close before mine, wet and breathing hard. Steam drifted in from the bathing room and gathered between us. I reached for the closet door. Jonah caught my wrist.
If he opens this,
He will not.
you sound certain.
I have known Sheriff Bell since he was 12. He is terrified of embarrassing women. Another knock shook the door. I closed Jonah into the darkness. Do not bleed on the clean sheets.
I will do my best.
I shut the door. Then I removed my apron, loosened several buttons at my throat, and opened the rear entrance with as much irritation as I could summon. Sheriff Bell stood outside with 2 armed men. The sheriff looked apologetic. The other men did not.
Mrs. Hart, sorry to disturb you.
You have already disturbed me.
We are searching for a fugitive.
At this hour?
He was seen near the spring.
Half the town comes near the spring. One of the armed men stepped forward. He wore a black coat despite the heat. Silver capped the toe of each boot.
Jonah Creed. Tall, dark hair, shot in the side.
I have not seen him. The man looked past me.
Mind if we search?
Yes. His expression hardened. Sheriff Bell cleared his throat.
Mrs. Hart's establishment serves women, Pike. The building is closed. It remains a woman's establishment while closed.
I nearly smiled. Pike did not. He leaned close enough that I smelled tobacco on him.
Creed is dangerous.
So are men who arrive at a widow's door after midnight and request entry. His eyes narrowed. From inside the bathhouse came a faint thud. Jonah. I stepped into the doorway, blocking the view.
What was that?
A bottle fell.
What kind?
Do you require the scent? His face reddened.
No, ma'am.
Pike continued staring at me. Then he smiled. It was the kind of smile men wore when they believed time belonged to them.
If you see Creed, you tell the sheriff.
I will tell him what I choose. He tipped his hat. The 3 men returned to the alley. I waited until the hoofbeats disappeared. Then I locked the door. When I opened the linen closet, Jonah Creed fell forward into my arms. The bullet had not passed through. I discovered that after laying him face down on the tiled table where women usually received salt scrubs. He had lost enough blood to stop making clever remarks. That worried me more than the blood itself. I cut away what remained of his shirt. The wound sat below his left ribs, small and dark at the center, the flesh around it swollen.
You have removed a bullet before?
No.
That is reassuring.
My husband was injured at the mine twice. I learned to clean wounds.
Was he shot?
No.
Then this may be a disappointing evening for us both.
I poured whiskey over the instruments. Jonah watched me heat the forceps above the flame.
You still have time to call Belle.
You still have time to stop talking.
Mrs. Hart.
My name is Celia. His eyes lifted to mine. Something changed in them. Not softness, attention.
Celia.
No one had spoken my name quite that way since Thomas died. The sound reached somewhere in me that had gone untouched for 3 years. I looked down at the forceps. Fight this. I gave him a folded strip of leather. He glanced at it.
No.
This will hurt.
I know.
You may shout.
I will try not to frighten your customers.
It is after midnight.
Then I will try not to frighten you.
That was the first kind thing he said to me. It nearly undid my hands. I placed my palm against the warm skin beside the wound. His body tightened beneath it. Ready?
No.
I pushed the forceps into the wound. His hands closed around the table. Muscles stood hard along his arms and back. His head dropped. A rough sound escaped through his teeth, low and strangled. Blood covered my fingers. I searched once. Failed. Jonah's breathing turned ragged. I am sorry.
Do it.
I tried again. The forceps struck metal. Jonah's shoulders locked. I caught the bullet and pulled. It came free, slick with blood. He exhaled as though the whole of him had broken loose at once. I dropped the bullet into a basin. Then Jonah's hand closed around mine. His grip was firm, despite the pain.
You did it.
His thumb rested against the inside of my wrist. My pulse beat directly beneath it. So I did. Neither of us moved. Steam drifted around us. His skin was hot under my palm. His breath slowed by degrees. The room smelled of whiskey, blood, soap, and the faint masculine scent left on his skin beneath all three. His gaze moved to my mouth. Mine went to his. I pulled my hand away. You require stitches. A hint of amusement returned to his face.
Of course I do.
I hid him in the private bathing room. It was the only room without a window facing the street, and the hot spring beneath the building kept it warm through the night. Jonah slept on a narrow cot behind a painted folding screen. During business hours, women bathed within 6 feet of a wanted gunslinger and never knew it. That first morning I told him the rules. You will not speak while customers are present.
I understand.
You will not move unless the building is empty.
I understand.
You will keep your revolver beneath the cot. He looked at me.
I understand.
You will not use the bath without warning me. His mouth moved.
Is that necessary?
Yes.
Why?
Because this is my bathhouse.
That did not answer the question.
It is the only answer you are receiving. His eyes warmed. I turned away before he saw that mine had done the same. For 7 days, Jonah Creed lived behind steam and painted silk. I brought him food before opening. At night, after the last customer left, I changed his bandage. The wound healed cleanly. The rest of him became increasingly difficult to ignore. His body carried scars of different ages, a pale line near his spine, a round mark high on his shoulder, a long, narrow scar across his abdomen. Each night I discovered another piece of him while pretending to see only an injury. Each night he watched me pretend. On the 3rd evening, I found him standing at the private room's mirror, shirtless, shaving with my dead husband's razor. I stopped in the doorway. Jonah met my eyes in the glass. Soap covered one side of his jaw. His hair was still wet from washing. A towel hung low around his waist. I looked away, not before seeing enough. Where are your trousers?
Drying.
You used the bath.
You said to warn you.
You did not.
You were arguing with Mrs. Weller about the price of rose oil.
That was not warning me.
I considered interrupting.
With what announcement? He turned from the mirror. The towel shifted. I fixed my attention on his face.
That the wanted murderer in the private room intended to remove his trousers?
Heat climbed my throat. That would have been unwise.
So I concluded.
I set the clean bandages on the table. Finish shaving.
Does the beard offend you?
It traps blood.
That sounds like a medical opinion.
It is? His eyes remained on mine.
Pity.
I should have asked why. I did not. The razor moved slowly down his throat. I watched the clean path it left through the soap, watched the flecks of muscle each time he tilted his head. A drop of water slid from his hair and followed the newly bared line of his neck. My fingers tightened around the bandages. Jonah rinsed the blade.
You are staring, Celia.
I am making certain you do not cut yourself.
I have shaved before.
You have also been shot before. Neither recommends your judgment. His mouth curved. It was the first full smile I had seen from him. The sight did something warm and unwelcome low in my stomach. I turned away. Behind me, he said,
You have not looked at another man in some time.
I went still. That is not your concern.
No,
Then do not speak of it.
I did not mean offense.
Men rarely do. They manage it regardless. He set the razor down. The room grew quiet.
I am sorry.
The apology was simple. That made it more difficult to remain angry. I gathered the used cloths. My husband has been dead 3 years. Jonah did not answer immediately.
What was his name?
Thomas.
What happened?
The Black Ridge mine collapsed. His expression changed. Only slightly, I noticed. You know the mine.
I know of it.
That is not the same thing.
No.
He looked away first. The warning inside me sharpened. What are you hiding?
A great many things.
Do any of them explain why armed men are searching my bathhouse?
Yes.
Will you tell me?
Not yet.
I walked to the door. Then do not ask about my husband again.
Celia,
I stopped. His voice had lost its amusement.
when I ask about him, I am not measuring myself against a dead man.
I looked over my shoulder. What are you doing? His eyes held mine.
Trying to understand the woman hiding me.
I left before he could see how deeply the answer landed. The walls of the Willow Spring bathhouse were not built for secrets. At night, lying in my room above the laundry, I could hear Jonah moving below me. A floorboard creaking, water running into the tub, the faint scrape of his razor. Sometimes his voice. He talked in his sleep, never enough to make sense. A name, an order. Once the word run. On the fourth night, I went downstairs in my robe. The private room was dark except for one lamp. Jonah sat on the edge of the cot, breathing hard. His revolver was in his hand. Sweat shone across his chest. He looked at me without recognition. Jonah, the weapon lowered. His eyes cleared.
Celia,
You were dreaming? He placed the revolver on the floor.
I apologize.
You did not shoot me.
Then the evening is already improving.
I should have gone upstairs. Instead, I sat beside him, not touching. The cot was narrow enough that our shoulders nearly met. Steam breathed from the spring beneath the floor. You said a name.
What name?
Elias. Jonah's jaw tightened.
My brother.
Is he alive?
No.
The answer came flat. Too flat. How did he die? Jonah looked toward the dark tub.
He works security for Black Ridge.
Everything inside me stilled. During the collapse?
Before it.
I turned toward him. What do you mean? He rubbed a hand over his face.
I was not ready to tell you.
You are in my building, carrying armed men to my door. You do not decide when I am ready. His eyes met mine.
No, I suppose I do not.
He stood. The room seemed smaller when he did. Jonah crossed to the wall and removed a loose tile behind the washstand. From the hollow, he pulled a leather ledger wrapped in oilcloth. He placed it in my hands. The Black Ridge Mining Company seal had been stamped into the cover. I knew the mark. It had been on the envelope containing Thomas's final wages. What is this?
Payroll. Bribes. Safety reports. Orders.
My fingers tightened around it. Jonah continued.
The lower supports at Black Ridge were failing. The mine superintendent knew. So did Calvin Pike.
The man in the silver-toed boots. He owns the mine now.
He owned enough of it then.
My mouth went dry. Thomas told me the lower shaft was unsafe.
I know.
I looked up. Jonah's face had gone still. How?
His name is in the ledger.
I opened it. The handwriting was cramped, columns of numbers and initials. Jonah turned several pages. There. Thomas Hart. Reported structural failure. Dismiss or silence. The room tilted. I gripped the table. Jonah moved toward me. I raised one hand. He stopped. What happened?
Pike ordered the men into the lower shaft. Your husband refused. He meant to ride to the territorial inspector.
My eyes burned. He never came that night.
No.
You said the mine collapsed.
It did.
After?
Yes.
The truth settled slowly and horribly into place. Pike killed him.
Pike's foreman struck him behind the assay office. My brother saw it.
Elias? Jonah nodded.
He helped me take the ledger. We meant to bring it to the federal court in Denver.
What happened?
Pike found us first.
His gaze dropped.
Elias died in the street. I killed the foreman. Pike called it murder and claimed I stole the mine payroll.
I stared at the ledger. 3 years of grief changed shape inside me. Thomas had not died underground. He had been silenced, and the man standing half-dressed in my private bathing room had carried the proof across half the territory. Why come here?
The federal marshal is due through Red Hollow next week.
That is not what I asked. Jonah was quiet.
Elias wrote your address in the ledger.
Why?
Thomas told him that if anything happened, you would know what to do.
A sound left me. Not quite a laugh, not quite grief. My husband believed very highly in my abilities.
So do I.
Jonah said it softly. I closed the book. Pike knows you have this.
Yes.
He will search every building.
Yes.
He may burn this place to find it. Jonah's face hardened.
I will leave tonight.
No.
Celia,
No.
I brought danger to your door.
You brought me the truth.
It may cost you everything.
I looked around the tiled room Thomas had helped me build. The copper tubs, the white shelves, the business that had kept me alive when grief might otherwise have finished the job. Then I looked at Jonah. Men like Pike depend upon women being too frightened of losing what remains. His eyes moved over my face. I am not prepared to oblige him. Something like pride entered his expression. It warmed me more than it should have.
You are a difficult woman.
So I have been told.
I expect your husband admired that.
He complained of it daily. Jonah came closer. Slowly.
I think I would too.
My breath caught. He stopped within reach. Neither of us touched. The distance between us felt less decent than an embrace. Then someone pounded on the front door. Pike returned the next morning. This time he brought no sheriff. He brought 2 men with rifles and Mrs. Weller's 16-year-old daughter held by the arm. The bathhouse was full. Women sat in the cooling room wrapped in white sheets. Others stood waist-deep in the communal pool. Steam veiled the air. When Pike forced the front door open, 20 respectable women began screaming at once. Not with fear, with outrage. "Get out!" Mrs. Weller struck one of Pike's men with a wooden bath brush. It would have been amusing under different circumstances. Pike pushed past them.
I know he is here.
I stood between him and the curtain to the private room. You continue arriving where you are not invited. His eyes moved to the ledger in my hand. I had meant to hide it. Then I had changed my mind. Pike smiled.
There it is.
The room quieted.
What is that?
He had followed the shouting. I lifted the ledger. Proof that Calvin Pike murdered my husband and 11 minors. Pike drew his revolver. The women screamed properly then. Behind the private room curtain, I heard the soft click of Jonah's gun. Pike heard it too. He caught me around the waist and dragged me backward against him, pressing the barrel beneath my jaw. The bathhouse disappeared behind a wall of steam.
Creed, come out.
Silence. Pike's arm tightened around me.
Come out or the widow joins her husband.
The curtain moved. Jonah stepped into the room. He wore his trousers and nothing else. His bandage showed white against the hard plane of his side. Steam curled around his bare chest and shoulders. His revolver hung loosely in one hand. Every woman in the room stared. Under the circumstances, I forgave them. Jonah's eyes found mine. They moved once over Pike's arm around my waist. Something terrible and controlled entered his face.
Release her.
Pike laughed.
You always did mistake yourself for a hero. No.
Jonah's gaze remained on me.
I know exactly what I am.
He placed the revolver on the tile.
Kick it away.
Jonah did.
Now the ledger.
I held it tighter. Pike pressed the barrel harder beneath my jaw. Jonah's eyes darkened.
Give it to him, Celia.
No.
Give it to him.
I understood then. Jonah was looking at the brass valve beside the private curtain, the valve feeding the hottest spring water into the room. I loosened my grip. Pike reached for the ledger. Jonah moved. He struck the valve with his heel. A blast of steam erupted from the pipe. Pike shouted and turned his face. I drove my elbow into his ribs. Jonah crossed the room before the ledger struck the floor. He caught Pike's gun hand, twisted, and drove him backward into the tiled wall. The weapon fired into the ceiling. Women scattered. Sheriff Bell drew his revolver. Pike's men raised theirs. Mrs. Weller threw a bucket of bath water into one man's face. The other slipped on soap and went down hard enough to crack a tile. Jonah struck Pike once. Only once. Pike collapsed. The room fell silent except for the hiss of steam. Jonah stood over him, breathing hard. The bandage at his side had turned red. His eyes found me. I crossed the room. You tore the stitches.
You were occupied.
You could have waited.
He had a gun beneath your chin.
That does not improve your medical judgment. His mouth almost smiled. Then his knees gave. I caught him before he struck the floor. The federal marshal arrived that afternoon. Sheriff Bell placed Pike under arrest. The ledger was copied, witnessed, and locked in the bank safe. By evening, Red Hollow knew Jonah Creed had not robbed Blackridge. By morning, the wanted notice was gone from the post office. None of it mattered to me as much as the blood seeping through his second bandage. He rested in the private room while the bathhouse remained closed. I told the town the steam valve required repair. Half the women knew better. The other half invented reasons to bring soup. Jonah slept most of the day. At sunset, I found him in the copper tub. Again. He had filled it nearly to the brim. Steam softened the hard lines of his face. His head rested against the rim, eyes closed. Water covered him to the waist. I stood in the doorway. You were instructed to remain in bed. His eyes opened.
I am in something shaped similarly.
A tub is not a bed.
It is warmer.
You will ruin the bandage.
I removed it.
I stared at him. You did what?
It was wet.
Because you are sitting in a bath.
That follows.
I took the clean bandages from the shelf. Jonah watched me approach. His gaze was quieter now. There were no men outside, no gun within reach. Nothing stood between us except water, steam, and the choices we had not made. I knelt beside the tub. Move your arm. He did not. Jonah. His hand disappeared beneath the water. Before I reached his side, his fingers closed around my wrist. The contact startled me. His palm was hot. Water lapped against the copper.
You keep touching me like a nurse.
His eyes held mine through the steam.
You have not looked at me like one since the first night.
My breath caught. His thumb moved over the inside of my wrist. Slowly. You were bleeding.
You still looked.
I was assessing the injury.
Is that what we are calling it?
The words were mine from another night. I felt heat rise beneath my skin. Jonah's grip loosened. He did not release me. You have looked too.
Yes.
The immediate answer left no place to hide. At what? His gaze moved over my face, my mouth, my throat, the loosened collar of my dress. His voice lowered.
The way your robe falls open when you lean across the tub.
My pulse beat beneath his thumb. You notice a great deal for a wounded man.
I have spent a week behind a curtain, listening to you breathe on the other side.
The room seemed to narrow around us. He lifted my hand from the water. Droplets moved down my fingers. Then he placed my palm against his chest. His skin was wet and hot. The beat beneath it was strong.
Tell me to stop.
You have barely begun. Something shifted in his eyes. His hand moved from my wrist to the back of my neck. He drew me closer. Not enough for our mouths to meet, enough for his breath to warm my lips.
Celia.
He had said my name in pain, in warning, in sleep. Never like that. I should have stepped away. Instead, I let my fingers travel over the hard plane of his chest to the scar near his shoulder. His breathing changed. The water moved around him. You were right.
About what?
I have not looked at you like a nurse. His mouth came close to mine.
How have you looked?
I met his eyes. Like a widow beginning to remember she is still a woman. Jonah went perfectly still. His grip at the back of my neck tightened by one careful degree.
Do not say that unless you want me to understand it.
I have spent 3 years saying only what other people could bear to hear. My hand slid to the warm skin at the side of his throat. I am tired of it. His eyes closed briefly. When they opened, the restraint in them had become something thinner, more fragile.
You deserve more than a wanted man in a bathtub.
The warrant is gone.
The man remains.
That is the part I am interested in. Jonah kissed me. The first touch of his mouth was careful, almost reverent. It lasted only a breath. Then I touched his wet hair, and careful left him. His hand tightened at my neck. His other arm came around my waist and lifted me over the side of the tub before I could protest. Water soaked my skirt. I landed partly across his lap, one knee against the copper, one hand braced on his shoulder. Jonah.
I know.
You are getting me wet.
I noticed.
His mouth found mine again. Steam closed around us. He kissed me with the hunger of a man who had spent too long wounded, hunted, and 6 feet away from the thing he wanted. His palm spread across my back. My fingers slid into his hair. The sound he made against my lips sent heat through me. I drew back only when I felt the bandage brush my wrist. Your stitches.
Damn the stitches.
Jonah Creed. His forehead rested against mine. His breath came rough.
I have been shot twice this week. Hidden behind curtains while women discussed their husbands, and nearly killed by a bucket of rose water.
That was Mrs. Weller.
I know.
His thumb moved along my waist beneath the wet fabric.
I have earned one poor decision.
I touched his mouth. This would not be one. The humor left his eyes.
What would it be?
My decision. The room quieted. His hand went still.
You are certain?
Yes.
Not because I brought you the ledger?
No.
Not because I knew Thomas?
No.
Not because you are grateful?
I looked at the man in the water before me, at the scar through his eyebrow, the tired gray eyes, the strength he held back even now. I wanted you before I knew any of it. His chest rose beneath my palm.
When?
The first night.
I was bleeding.
You had shoulders. For 1 second he only stared. Then he laughed. It was low and surprised and warmer than the spring water around us. I had never heard it before. I kissed him to hear it stop. He lifted me from the tub. Water poured from my dress and his body. His arms held me securely, one beneath my knees and one across my back. You will tear the stitches.
I will tear them carefully.
That is not possible.
Then you may repair them again.
He carried me through the steam. At the door he stopped. His eyes searched mine.
Tell me once more.
What?
That this is your decision.
I touched the scar through his eyebrow. You entered my bathhouse without permission.
Yes.
You bled in my best tub.
Yes.
You endangered my customers.
I regret that.
You shaved with my husband's razor.
I regret that less.
And now you are carrying me upstairs in a wet dress. His arms tightened.
Yes.
I believe I have made my decision very plain. His mouth curved.
Mrs. Hart.
Mr. Creed. He carried me upstairs. The bedroom door closed behind us. The bathwater cooled untouched below, and the willow spring kept the rest beneath its steam. I woke to sunlight and the faint mineral scent of the spring. Jonah lay beside me on his stomach, one arm beneath the pillow. The sheet covered him to the waist. Morning light moved across the scars on his back. I traced the longest one with one finger. His eyes opened.
You are staring.
I am assessing the damage.
Is that what we are calling it?
No. I let my hand rest between his shoulders. Not anymore. He turned onto his side. His gaze moved over my face slowly, as if he was memorizing the sight of me in daylight.
Regret?
Several. His expression tightened. I touched the line between his eyebrows. You left water across the stairs. He exhaled. The bathhouse floor is soaked.
Anything else?
You tore the stitches.
I warned you.
You did no such thing.
I implied it.
His hand settled at my waist beneath the sheet.
And the remaining regrets?
I moved closer. I should have charged you for the bath. Jonah's mouth touched the corner of mine.
Put it on my account.
You do not have an account.
I may require regular service.
Heat curled through me. You are no longer permitted in the women's bathhouse. His thumb moved slowly against my side.
Where am I permitted?
I looked toward the closed bedroom door. I will prepare a list. He kissed me before I could begin. Calvin Pike was convicted in Denver the following winter. The Black rich families received compensation, though money does not bring men back. Thomas remained dead. So did Elias Creed. The truth did not change that. It changed what their deaths meant. Sometimes, that is all justice manages. Jonah was offered a position with the territorial marshal. He declined. He said he had grown tired of men with weapons and preferred working somewhere dangerous. The Willow Spring bathhouse reopened with a repaired steam valve, a new tiled floor, and a stricter sign on the front door. No gentleman beyond this point. Jonah made the sign himself. He hung it crooked. The women complained. I kept it that way. He built a small house behind the bathhouse and married me there the following June, beneath the cottonwoods where the steam rose white from the ground in the morning cold. Sheriff Bell performed the ceremony. Mrs. Weller cried. Her daughter watched Jonah with enough interest that her mother moved her to the other side of the gathering. When the sheriff told Jonah he might kiss his bride, Jonah placed one hand at my waist and looked at me.
Do I have permission to enter this portion of the establishment?
Temporarily.
Under supervision?
Strict supervision. He kissed me until the respectable women of Red Hollow began pretending not to watch. They were not convincing. Years later, customers still ask why the best copper tub has a small dent along one side. I tell them a wanted man fell against it while attempting to escape justice. That is nearly true. He was wanted. He did fall. But justice had very little to do with it. And the man who once hid behind my curtains because the law was looking for him has not managed to hide from me a single night since.